So here's what's exciting today. I have with me the artist who created this incredible sculpture of the United States Colored Troops. Stephen Hayes of Durham, North Carolina, was commissioned to do this sculpture, and I am so incredibly honored to talk to you, Stephen. I've heard a lot about you for the past year or so. We're talking about history that is so amazing about colored troops. As an African-American male, tell me what it meant to you to, first of all, be asked to create this sculpture and then to create it.
First of all, I was extremely honored to be a part of this this moment, to be able to create this monument, because the colored troops, they marched and they fought for the freedom of our bodies, the freedom of their bodies, and and from generations to come. And today we're still fighting for that right now. So I'm extremely honored to be able to create a monument that symbolizes that fighting for the freedom of our bodies.
Freedom of our bodies. And one thing that gives me pause, one thing that gives me chills, is that these colored troops back in the day were not even really considered or recognized as citizens of this country, yet they fought for this country.
Yes, they did.
Tell me about the sculpture.
The sculpture is actually 11 life-size troops marching, and they're in formation. There's a flag bearer, there's a drummer boy, and then there's 9 other soldiers behind those guys. There'll be life-size where people can walk up to them and look the soldiers in the eyes. The sculptures are actually a cast of descendants and reenactors of the colored troops. I think it's a super honor to me to be able to bring that history to the future, to right now, and still show the facial features of those men that marched. But on one side of the sculpture, well, the nine troops that are marching behind the flag bearer and the drummer boy will be half of it will be a silhouette of the soldiers, and it will have the names of all the soldiers that marched through Wilmington carved on the side.
Well, you mentioned something very important. Some of the cast were created from descendants of some of the U.S. soldiers. Some of them were from Wilmington, North
Yes.
Carolina, and still have descendants here. How did you find them?
So I had to help with Cameron Art Museum to locate the reenactors and also locate the descendants to be a part of the sculpture. So I came in one day and cast it about 18 people. I think it was like a 9-hour, no, it's probably more than 9 hours just standing on my feet doing the castings of these men.
Well, we've seen it in movies before, but this actually happened right here at the Cameron Art Museum. How do you cast someone?
How do you cast someone? It's
I mean, what material do you use, and you put it on their faces? And
so I use plaster gauze to cast the people, but first I give them a talk. I let them know that, hey, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're actually giving your body to me, and you're not going to be able to move your body. So you have to stand in a certain position for a certain amount of time. And so I cast their face. I put these gauze on their face, and it stiffens and it gets hard. It's basically like mummifying a person. And then they have to sit there for about 20 minutes, not being able to move or anything. But they can breathe. So it's not like you see on television with straws and stuff in their nose. Their nostrils are open, and then they're breathing. But they have to sit still for that amount of time. And I'm talking to them the whole time because I know that there's a certain point where a person wants to panic, and it's very uncomfortable because you get claustrophobic in it. So I'm letting them know, hey, you can let me know you want to come out of there, because
did anybody do that?
no, they didn't. They fought their way through, and it was great for me to be a part of this, because these guys are giving their body just like those men gave their bodies to allow me to be free, or our generation, everybody to be
All
where
of
we
us.
are now. Yeah.
Absolutely, all of us. And so I was asking Stephen earlier when I got here, I said, how far along is the sculpture? And you said...
Oh, it's basically, well, my part is done right now. So the sculptures are standing, but they are not in bronze at the moment. So they're at the bronze facility, being turned into bronze.
So we need to raise $75,000 today, folks. Those of you who are watching, we really need to do that because we need to get that sculpture here in Wilmington, put it here on the grounds where the United States colored troops did do battle, the Battle of Forks Road.